welcome everyone to this week's Skippy Track Guide at Interlagos, also known by the massive long name of Joel's something something something. It's Interlagos through and through, that's what it is. But yeah, really nice Skippy track actually, really good to follow Lime Rock, a few similar corners, you know, long sweeping corners, things like that. Nice long, very long start finish straight, which is going to be huge for slipstreaming. But then equally after turn 3 going into turn 4, there's quite a decent straight where you should be able to have some good battles down into there. So without further ado, let's bring this up and have a look at the weather, just in case your weather's different and you get in different times. That could be why. This was quite a grippy track. I did enjoy this one. And the lap time you should be able to see, just above the webcam, brilliant. A 1:51.891, which put me third, annoyingly. Where are we? There we go. 1:51.7. My optimum was a 1:51.6, but I couldn't put all the good sectors together, which is a little bit disappointed. But anyway, I'm quite happy with that time. You can see you've got a few 51s in there, so we're rocking along quite well. What else have I got to say? Setup will be in the description, and this very nice chap up there, he actually pointed out maybe I should put kilometers an hour and miles an hour, because obviously not everyone uses miles an hour. The unfortunate thing is, if I change iRacing, the little circle dash thing I use, you know, up there somewhere, that just gets the information from iRacing. So I did think that maybe the two could be different, but unfortunately they're not. So we're gonna have to stick with MPH because that's what I'm more used to, unfortunately. So I do apologise about that. But I live in the UK, where we seem to pick and choose what metric system we like to use. If you go to the doctors, you say your height's at 6 foot or 5 foot or whatever, and you say your weight's in kilograms or stones. So we pick and choose what we want. Normally temperature's the best. If it's really hot, we use Fahrenheit. If it's really cold, we normally use Celsius. So good logic there. Anyway, I'm waffling, so let's get rid of that and crack on. So start finish straight, just crossing there. It's quite a short run down to T1. Not too long too, maybe 250 yards, so shouldn't be too bad on first lap. Just be careful because it is a left, right, left. So be careful of people on your outside, inside, depending on what you're looking for. Braking point is anything between the 50 and the Marshall board. As the tyres get warm, fuels get off, leaning towards the Marshall board. All the way down into second gear, if my memory serves me correctly. And just as we go under the bridge, that's where we start turning in. We want a nice late apex for turn 1 because it really opens up to turn 2. And then turn 3, you can see in the distance there, is full throttle. Good chunk of curb. There is a little bump there that can push us a bit wide if we don't have the rotation pre-corner. And cut turn 2, change up into third, and we should be full throttle without even lifting. Horrible bump here on the left-hand side as we pass now. Try and avoid that if you can. Car just loses grip, gets a bit airborne. Turn 3 is completely flat out. All we're trying to do is minimize steering angle and track distance as much as we can to gain speed. Quite a really good overtaking point down into turn 4. It's going to be, you know, because the guys are going to catch you through the corner. As we see DRS boards and that Marshall post on the right hand side, we kind of bleed out to the outside of the track. Don't take too much curb. It's a little bit bumpy the further out you go, and basically just straight line it to turn 4. Pit exit, sorry, is on the left hand side, so be careful if someone's coming out there. Shouldn't be too many people pitting here. There's not many walls that are too close, and it is going to be a superb overtaking opportunity down here. It's a long enough straight and a long enough turn 3 to get a good slipstream and a good run down here. Be careful of cars sort of darting all over the place. I think people are going to be defending quite hard and quite heavily into turn 4, and it's quite a way away, annoyingly. Probably should have sped this up for you guys, but we're approaching it now. And breaking point for me is just after this service road, at it when the tyres are cold, and slightly after it as we're warming up. We're down into third, second if you feel necessary, but I'm kind of getting used to being in third. I feel it gives me a better exit. Turning in, nice trail braking, nice little bump on the left hand side there, which we try and get over it as neatly as we can. Do not run wide here. That AstroTurf on the right hand side is an off track. Real pain in the rear, really spoils the lap for me. You just put a tyre on it and it's an off track and it's gone, and really it shouldn't be like that. Turn 5 is flat out again. Just try and minimize angle of the car and straight line it as best we can. We do run wide. I mean, we're doing 90 miles an hour, so we don't want too much steering angle to scrub the speed off. Be very careful up the hill. If someone does get a good run out of turn 4, he's going to be right on you. Jaxie coming into turn 6 and 7. Very tricky corners. I've been toying around with a few lines here, and this is kind of my intermediate line that I take on this lap. So as I come over the brow of the hill, I can just see the corner. So I start turning in and braking for it. I'm in 4th at the minute, change down into 3rd as we're doing it, and I would like to be a little bit closer to this first curb. I do push out a little bit too wide, so I need to bring the turning in a little bit more. But it's really important that we get on full throttle between 6 and 7 and full throttle out of 7. It really helps the car settle down. We don't run too wide either. You can cut that curb a little more. I haven't had an off track as of yet. All the curb on the outside is all ours, free to use, and you can see where it gets straight. That's the best braking marker that I can think of. It kind of curves around and there's a straight white line. When that starts, that's when I start braking for turn 8. Down into first gear, there is no such thing as an off track here, unless you touch the grass, which is way on the inside. Get on full throttle as soon as we can. I'm preparing for turn 9. I haven't frozen this because I'm only braking to keep my line nice and neat and nice and tight around turn 9. So it's not actually a braking zone, it's more of a turning control. You can see I've very gradually touch the brakes there just to bring the nose in, and I'm full throttle as soon as I can. It's uphill this bit, so you want to get the a good exit into second straight away. Or the curb on the outside we can use is a little bit bumpy, so I kind of try and not use too much and try and lean off it as soon as I can, but again we don't want too much steering angle. Coming into the tricky turn 10 where Lewis and Albon had an issue. There's a lovely tree shadow. It does disappear, so try and use the tree as a marker. We are stamping on the brakes as hard as we can without locking up. Down into first gear. With this, you've got a good run down the hill after turn 10, so you kind of want to mid to late apex the best you can, and really stamp on the throttle prior to apex if you can, and run out wide a little bit. This concrete bit here on the left, I have been getting off tracks there, so try and avoid it. I haven't on the curb, but on that secondary curb I definitely have, so avoid that. Turns 11 is a nice long sweeping downhill left-hander. We will get a little bit of understeer, but keep in it, keep your foot in, and just try and keep close to the curb. All we're looking for now is to spot our turning in / braking zone for the most important corner on the track is turn 12. This leads on to the start-finish curve / straight. It's very long. There's 2 grass marks. The first one, ignore it. The second one, as you come up to it, start standing on it. We can fully get on this concrete, and then as the concrete ends, start rotating the car in. Second gear, it's a little bit bumpy on apex. You can dip a tyre into the grass there on the inside, but really we need to be on full throttle before we're going through the apex. Really try and elongate this straight as much as you can. Any 1 or 2 mile an hour you're going to gain on this corner is going to benefit you all the way down to turn 1 again, which is going to be huge. So we're going to speed it up a little bit because it is such a long straight. All I'm doing here is keeping close to the left hand side of the track, shortest route. This turn here is actually 14 apparently. It's not even a turn really. I do go over the curb a little bit. Haven't really found any speed loss there, but obviously bumps is going to cause more friction for the underpowered Skippy, let's say. Pretend to go in the pit, and obviously don't, because this is pit entry, but again, shortest route. We head for the black wall here on the left hand side, and then that immediately sets us up aiming at the 50 board / 100 board, ready for braking zone at turn 1. But that is our lap done and dusted, and that is a 1:51.891, which I was quite impressed with, and had relatively good pace lap after lap. So I'm really looking forward to this circuit. Hopefully I don't have too many incidences, and as always the full speed cockpit and chase cam are to follow. So thank you very much for watching, and hope this helps you out as always. Please do let us know what lap times you get, how your races are getting along. I do enjoy reading your comments, so I do thank you guys for that. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one.